at that time, like 13, 14 years old, I was kind of in my bag as a singer, right? So I thought I was that dude. And so, everybody says that all singers kind of join and get their wings in the church at some point, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I did. Like I started singing in church and all the little girls was like, ooh. So I was like, yeah, I need to keep doing this. So when I first started going to church consistently, it was to get girls. Like it really wasn't to have an encounter with the Lord or anything.
Yeah.
But even in that, there was still like a duality in a sense because I enjoyed the fellowship. I definitely had my first encounter with the Lord while I was in high school. And so it was almost like I had an idea of what I was going for, but at the same time, God had other plans. So he's like, I'm gonna plant these seeds. Like I know what you think you here
Yeah.
for, but yeah, you also here for this too. So
Okay.
that was kind of what it was.
And let's talk about that encounter that you had with the Lord in high school.
Yeah. So we used to always have a youth retreat. Like I feel like these things are so like legalistically consistent, right? When we start talking about this stuff, it's like there's a youth conference, there's a youth revival, there's a retreat of some sort. And like when I was in high school, we had a youth retreat in Lynchburg, Virginia, called Eagle Eyrie. It
Oh,
was a location there, and for the weekend, all the high school kids from I don't know, like 40, 50 different churches ended up, coming to this area and fellowshipping and worshiping and going to workshops and things like that. And at first I went there, I was like, let's get these numbers, let's say, because back then, what it was, the thing to do, and I don't know why we did this, but we thought it was cool. It was like to get the disposable cameras and like take pictures with people you thought were attractive,
oh yeah.
right? So it was like, no, let's take a picture, and
Yeah, I remember those days.
and so it was like that and like getting numbers because we knew I was 14. I couldn't drive out of
Yeah.
somewhere to go and meet somebody. So it was like that was our opportunity to have our little encounters. And
Hmm.
so but I remember our youth pastor was she was one of the speakers that particular year. And we had a main session. And I don't know, like there was a time where I thought I was playing. I thought it was a joke. And then I was like, yo, these young people actually like worshiping the Lord. And I was like, what is this? Like I thought I was here for the numbers and
Yeah.
they're actually worshiping. And so like I kind of felt, you get that moment where you're like, okay, it's okay to be free here. Like, because
Yeah.
at first everybody's looking like to the left and right, like
Yeah.
who's gonna be the one, right? To jump out there and express themselves. And it became so liberating in a sense that I was worshiping. I was like, oh, who is this guy? Oh, him. Okay. And so, and as typical, there's the general altar call where people get swept up in emotion and they start crying and it's, oh, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. And so I had that moment. And but I think what was different about that moment for me is after that moment I felt the need to get closer to God,
Mm.
right? So it wasn't just a emotional moment. It was transformative in a sense because
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I need to know more about this dude. So that's kind of how I left the mountain. Obviously, the further you get away, from that kind of a charged environment, sometimes you waffle a little bit, but I definitely was bringing my Bible everywhere, and I was predominantly listening to gospel music at the time. I wasn't even listening to R&B. Everybody has that. Like, I feel like all the Christian rappers have had this where they want to throw away like all their secular stuff.
Yeah, I mean, fans of Christian or just rap, period. We did the
Yeah,
same thing because I'm not a rapper, but I definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
me
it's like,
too.
let me get rid of this stuff. This is so horrible. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
And so I did that, and it started there, and then it kind of grew.